Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Thank you all for coming. Today, we're going to be ranking the Bitcoin miners. And I did something special this time around. I actually asked AI to help me with ranking the Bitcoin miners based on some criteria that I fed it. But first, we're going to talk about the latest happenings in the market, as usual. If you appreciate these types of videos, make sure to leave a like. And if you have questions, leave them in the chat. Inshallah, I'll get to them at the end of our stream. So without further ado, let's get started. As always, this is not financial advice, so make sure to do your own due diligence before making any investing decisions. All right, so Nvidia reported earnings yesterday, and it completely blew them out of the water. They had 265% revenue growth in 1 year, and I was really tempted to add Nvidia to our PIF dividend portfolio. I hate chasing. I always, promise myself not to chase, and I've been actually waiting on Nvidia to have a strong pullback before adding it, and that pullback never came. We did the valuations this morning, myself and another analyst at PIF, and we found that even at the appreciation that it was at, it was still a good purchase. So we were seriously thinking about adding it to our PIF dividend portfolio, and I sent the trade alert out, and then one of our PIF members pointed out the following: that that Nvidia rather has strong ties to Israel, and upon sort of digging deeper into this matter, it turns out that this was correct. So Nvidia's R&D activities in Israel are the firm's largest outside the US. The firm employs more than 3,000 workers, or 12% of its global workforce, in 7 R&D centers across Israel. Alongside its R&D operations, Nvidia also runs the Nvidia Inception program for startups, including 800 Israeli startups. And in May, Nvidia announced that it is developing and building the nation's most powerful generative AI cloud supercomputer called Israel One, which is based on a new locally developed high-performance Ethernet platform. Now, it's always tough to determine where you draw the line here with regards to a company's association with Israel. It's not easy, and actually there was some back and forth between myself and the analyst I was working with on this, and we did decide that that Nvidia had crossed the line here in terms of its association with the state of Israel, and the feedback from the PIF members was pretty much in agreement with that take that we had. So we decided not to invest in it, but no worries. I think that whenever you leave anything for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah will reward you with something even better. And so I am optimistic that we'll find a even better fit for our PIF dividend portfolio than Nvidia was. And so I just wanted to share that, and not only to kind of point out the ties that Nvidia has, which I think are unfortunate, but also to sort of highlight the process, which is not an easy process. And I think every investor, every halal conscious investor, needs to go through that process of sort of investigating. And then, even if they have an initial opinion about a matter, to be able to change that opinion based on information that is presented to them. That's very important. All right, so AI, the rally in Nvidia led to a broader rally in the AI theme, and then this extended to even in crypto. So even before Nvidia earnings, we had a rally in AI-related crypto that was sort of in response to OpenAI announcing Sora, which, if you haven't seen it, it's quite noteworthy. It's quite impressive. The technology that OpenAI has been able to offer. I mean, you can essentially write a statement, and it will generate a video for you based on the statement. which is going to cause a lot of changes in YouTube videos and how they're made. You're going to see a lot less generic YouTube videos being used, or clips used in YouTube videos. And it's going to change a lot of industries. And this is the pace of innovation here is only accelerating. So it's pretty actually exciting to see. And what you want to do as an investor is be part of this. And so what we're going to do at PIF is we're going to review all of these AI tokens. We'll share them all, our review of them. We'll share them all with PIF members, and I'll pick one or two and share them with you on this YouTube channel, inshallah. All right, now let's go to the father of all crypto, Bitcoin, basically. It's and the ETFs. And yesterday we had one of the rare net outflow days. However, this selling pressure has been absorbed quite nicely by the market. The Bitcoin price hasn't really retreated that much from the basically between $50,000 and $52,000 level. And this selling pressure should be temporary, and it's largely because of the court ruling that Genesis could sell its more than $1 billion of GBTC shares as part of its bankruptcy proceedings. And so this 1.3 billion is being basically sold gradually. It's not in one fell swoop. It's being sold gradually to the tune of around 100 million per day. And it looks like 25% of the selling is basically done. This was as of yesterday, so probably today even more than this. So you can expect maybe 7 to 8 days more of selling pressure from this particular event. Now, for those who ask you, hey, what is the benefit of Bitcoin? Where is the value there? I don't see any benefit. How is it halal if it's not actually providing any usefulness? Well, in 14 different countries, Bitcoin has now reached all-time highs in their local currency. Bitcoin is a lifeboat for people in these hyperinflationary environments to actually save their purchasing power. Places like Egypt and Lebanon and Pakistan, the local currency is just not good to save your purchasing power in, and Bitcoin is the only out that many people have. Now, let's talk about Bitcoin miner valuations. And actually, we're going to rate these Bitcoin miners on three criteria. The first is valuation. The second is their efficiency as miners. And the third is their Altman Z-score, which is a measure of basically their risk of bankruptcy. So let's talk about their valuation. So as of today, Stronghold is, if you're just looking at how the market is valuing each sort of unit of hash power for each one of these miners, you see Stronghold is the cheapest, followed by Mawson, followed by Sphere 3D. Now, this is not a mistake by the market necessarily, because these, and we'll see this in a second, these names have the highest risk. So this risk is being factored in when the market is pricing these assets. You can see CleanSpark, Bitdeer, and Marathon are the most expensive if we're just looking at the market cap versus the hashing power. Now let's look at miner efficiency, which is another big factor in determining which miners are going to do well. And at the top of the list, a name that I haven't really mentioned that much is Hive, followed by Bit Digital. And in third place is CleanSpark. And in fact, this exercise has motivated me to look more deeply into these top two names. And I'll tell you why in a second. And the Altman Z-score, which, as we mentioned, was the risk of bankruptcy, put Bit Digital, which was the one of the most efficient miners, at the top, followed by Riot, followed by DMG, and at the bottom, we have Mawson, Core Scientific, and Sphere 3D. So you remember those names that we were saying are priced cheaply for a reason? Well, there's your reason. Their ultimate z-score is the lowest. No, with ultimate z-score, higher is better. Now, I took these 3 inputs. I understand there are other inputs that one could use, but I use these 3 inputs just to make things as simple as possible. I used these 3 inputs, and I told AI, hey, take these 3 inputs and rank the miners based on these 3 inputs. So obviously, behind the scenes, there's a normalization that happens, and then a addition of these the scores that each miner got in order to do this ranking, and the ranking came out as follows. Number 1 was Bit Digital, so it had the highest composite score, had strong balance across valuation, mining efficiency, and financial health, followed by Hive, followed by CleanSpark. Iris Energy had a balanced performance across metrics, so we have CleanSpark and Iris in our portfolio already. But Bit Digital and Hive are 2 miners that I haven't really taken a deeper look into, and this exercise has motivated me to do exactly that. At the bottom, we have Sphere 3D, Mawson, and Argo at the very bottom. And these are perhaps the miners that will do the best in terms of a percentage change if the performance of Bitcoin, exceeds expectations to the positive side in terms of price. So there's perhaps 10% chance that these names do better than the rest of the names. But I think what you're going to find is that the order with which these names do well will follow roughly the ranking here. So now the valuation part is going to change as the prices change. But a moderate performance will see the higher ranked miners in this list. Generally speaking, obviously, this is we only took 3 factors. But the higher ranked should do better here. Now, I do want to actually take a more deeper look into these miners just to see if there's something I'm missing. Often there are, certain peculiarities about miners that one needs to take into account. So this is not sort of a final verdict, but this is a general summary based on those 3 criteria that we mentioned, and it should motivate us to take a deeper look into Bit Digital and Hive. So with that, I hope you found this beneficial. I will take any questions if there are. If there aren't, make sure to subscribe, leave a like if you found it beneficial, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when we go live next, and become a PIF member to follow our portfolios trade for trade. Wa alaikum salam, Muhammad. It's a pleasure to see you. And all right, I hope you guys are well and in good health, and I hope to see you guys next time. Assalamu alaikum, and peace be upon you all.